All right, hello and welcome to Swing It and Ding It, an iHeartMedia podcast, sponsored by Draftkings Sportsbook. Harry, we've been kind of flailing a little bit with Draftkings. I feel like we need a big week this week.
We
We'll
do.
we'll we'll see the line. We'll
Yeah.
see the line. Also, All Access GTE. Harry, you were with the great Ryan Gano out of the filming of Inside Golf. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yesterday over at Lulu Country Club with Harry Donahue, our buddy Brownie, um, Joe Logan, Joe Giuliano made an appearance before he relocates to Madison, Wisconsin. And we had a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll hear more about that. And of course, we're sponsored by Comcast Business, introducing ultimate speed for business, the fastest internet plans yet from Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Last week, Harry, the tour was in the Great White North, Canada. You familiar with that place up there, Harry?
I am. Yeah. They had the
Yeah,
hockey, they had the dasher boards out. It was a cool scene up there, man.
that's right. That's right. And we stay in Canada. We welcome guests that were on the show before. Kind of came to us through our friend Wes Patterson as we get ready for our golf outing from the Dormie Golf Workshop. We welcome. Wow, I forgot if it was Todd or Jeff.
It's Todd.
I know you just said that. It's Todd. It's Todd. Todd Bishop.
Jeff's on a plane to LA, remember?
That's right. That's right. That's right. I should know that since my name's Jeff. But welcome to Swing It and Dig It, man. How you doing?
Doing good, thanks.
Good. So what was it like when a tour? I mean, I know it's like it's like saying, hey, the tour's in Philadelphia and someone lives in like Chicago, but I know it's big whenever the tour comes up for the Open. What was your involvement with that last week?
Yeah, so this year I didn't get to go personally, and I have attended, and it is a monster event for everybody up here, and it typically is in Toronto, and there's kind of a rota that they do around the city, some of the older courses, and Hamilton is a place that I have not played, but we do. It's a really good client of ours, and a really historic, beautiful layout. I think in TV, I think it showed pretty well. And the players certainly enjoy playing that one because I've never heard anybody ever complain about Hamilton. But it's great. Like, we've got such a talented group of guys now, and a lot of it dates back to like the Golf Canada vision of having a national team. And USA now has adopted a similar model, and it only happened like within the last 12 months. So it's interesting to see that USA, who usually, when it comes to sports and figuring out, capsules and these little segmented ways of improving, took a page out of Canada's Golf Canada and are like, we got to get a national team going.
Yeah, Golf Canada really showed well, and not only with the golf course, which is an old Harry Colt design. I mean, that place is just spectacular. But they performed well too as a team. I know they're getting ready for the President's Cup, and they'll be well represented with Mike Weir as the captain. But you guys are over in the Nova Scotia area, Halifax area. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the East Coast. There's only one province further east, and that's Newfoundland, which is actually an island. So, we kind of claim that the eastern seaboard side is the last place you can drive to without having to take a ferry.
Well, I've been to that area when I was growing up, on a trip, a summer trip, but I wasn't a golfer then. How many golf courses are in your area?
Man, that is a great question. I know that in our city alone, we're definitely underserviced for public courses, and our wait list on all the private courses are maxed out just like everywhere. I heard a stat that it was pre-COVID. There was around 2019 that almost next to zero wait list, and we are at 60%. Every private course has a wait list now. So wow. I don't even know what that, the X factor of that happening in the history of golf. I don't think it's ever happened like that before.
Wow. So, Todd, a phrase that we like to use on the show is your golf journey, right? So talk to us about your golf journey, how you started in the game and how you got from, playing the game to making, the number one head cover in golf, these beautiful custom leather head covers and other accessories that are absolutely tremendous. But, that doesn't just like pop out of nowhere. Talk about your history to get to that point.
Yeah, I mean, it would have started back from my grandfather, who was a lefty, and he was a good athlete, but he never really was dedicated to it. And he was kind of a family man, worked hard. And then that that lefty set of clubs worked its way to my father. Now, my father was the diabolical opposite of my granddad, where his whole life was playing sports. When he was 50, he ran the New York Marathon. He played basketball, volleyball. He was a phys ed teacher. He did all these different things, and it was all based around playing sports, being competitive. And as the firstborn of 3 sons, I saw those lefty clubs, got those ones going. And I started at a very young age. I mean, I was laying in a little crib, and there was like a full iron laying right across my chest.
Oh, wow.
Right? So this is it's just a generational thing. And so sports were always really important to my brothers, and but Dad was definitely the one that really got us into looking at the world from a competitive sports angle. And I always wanted to be a professional athlete, so whatever I did, it was always move to that location. So I was a professional skier for a while, and I lived out in Banff and taught skiing for 6 seasons. Kind of got injured, but in the meantime, I was working the Banff Springs golf course. So it was like ski, golf, you're just kind of, and this is all post-university. So then when I kind of injured myself out of skiing, I moved to Florida instantly and just went straight into golf in 2001 and played all these amateur events for 3 years.
Wow.
And then it was around 2005 when I played my first pro event in San Antonio at the Quarry. It's a really cool course, rattlesnakes everywhere. And I'd never been to San Jose, and it was like, it was San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah. San Antonio, Texas. And so that was the beginning of playing as a pro, trying to make money at it. And that went on. Well, I got my PGA card with PGA Canada in 2008. And during those times, we were kind of looking at how do we make more money, and it was definitely teaching is the way to go in golf. And so yeah, my brother, I had a job on a cruise ship as the golf pro.
Oh,
and
wow.
this is what really
what a journey, Harry.
Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, we just moved to like the greatest spots, and then just hunker down and find courses to play or places to ski. And the cruise ship was an amazing experience because for once in my life, I was actually making legit money, didn't have to cook. It was like turned down service almost because I had like officer status on the Princess line. So I'm sitting there, the captain's sitting over here, and I've got my own table, and there's a waiter coming over offering me wine and food. And I'm like, this is like the best life ever.
The captain's like, my backswing is just a little bit out.
Yeah,
Can you help me?
I'm having trouble in the transition. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were all Italian guys, so hardly any of them played golf.
Oh, wow.
Which was unfortunate because I really could have used some help in terms of like these excursions get pretty wild. Because it's like all inclusive. We're going to Mexico. We're hitting like Cabo, Mazatlan. The other one. But I mean, on the eastern seaboard, we're hitting Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, really, really awesome spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Mexican golf course, I would have like 5 or 6, maybe 10 people come with me, and we go to the golf course.
Okay.
And I felt like a teacher in a class that went on a field trip because I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit, oh man, what happened? I saw him on the 18th hole. No, he went back to get another drink. It's like, oh man, we're gonna miss the ship.
Oh my God.
That's great.
So it was taking people off the ship to these excursions, golf outings, or whatever it was, just to get people off. Wow, that's tremendous.
Yeah. So I got Jeff on as an assistant. Like, I mean, stretching it to the max. Like I remember asking my boss, I was like, you think I can get another guy on this ship to help me? Because I mean, it was going pretty good. So Jeff and I teamed up, and that was when Jeff got reintroduced to golf, and he really caught the bug bad. And he was an exceptional amateur golfer. He made it to the U.S. Open final qualifier at one point for the U.S. Am. And he's won the Nova Scotia Amateur here way back, and then he turned pro as well. Okay. So during all these times, at one point we started up our own ball marker business, and that was kind of the entrepreneurial start, was making these ball markers that had a line on it because we used to be line putters. So that gave us that extension to read the putt. I mean, they're super popular now, but we were doing those back in 2009, 2010. So we were, it was kind of because we were so involved in the game, we knew that this was a game improvement piece, and that was how we marketed it. And so we learned a lot about hustle and just how to talk to people and listen and network and all the things that you need to kind of be a good entrepreneur, because we've been doing it all our lives, whether it was selling ski lessons. So I was working at night if you guys were at the resort, there'd be my business card in the sugar bowl, and I'd hide them in the sugar bowls all over the place because I was the last guy to clean the bar. And then I would get the private requests. So these little things, you find ways to kind of gamify where you're at to increase your reach. And when it came to Dormie, that was something that Jeff had brought up on his own. He'd said, man, I'm seeing leather head covers everywhere, and I went to buy one. I don't really see anything that really sets me off. And I was like, well, we got the ball markers going. We have our own Bishop Brothers Golf School. This is going to be our third wheel at something. Like, I know that something's got to give. And he was like, well, I'm going to do it with or without you. That was where I was like, well, I can't let my little brother take off on me. I'm in. All right, let's do it. Screw it.
Jeff, I brought you on the boat. Come on, man. You can't leave me hanging here.
So that was like September 2014.
Okay.
And that was a Ryder Cup year. And we just, when we thought about branding, we had learned from the last one, it was kind of more, it was called Lined Up Golf. And it wasn't really it was very technical. It was,
right.
We thought it was cool at the time, but Dormie had a much better sound to it because we were hearing that word over and over on the Ryder Cup. And we thought, well, we did a little quick search. Nobody seemed to have owned the name. So we were like, okay, we'll use the word Dormie. And then for workshop, it gives it that old world feel. You kind of think about a guy that might be wearing a leather apron and, sipping a single malt scotch, smoking a cigar, maybe hammering something or tinkering with wearing those wiry glasses. So we thought, okay, let's combine those two. And that's kind of how the name started.
Wow. Well, congratulations on your 10th year anniversary. You talk about tinkering and hammering out the design. Who comes up with the great designs that you guys have? Because to me, when I first, saw, I looked on your social media, I'm like, man, these designs are so cool. And I don't see any of this stuff anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, originally it started with the three brothers, because our youngest bro, we brought him in about 6 to 8 months into the business, I believe, because we're all artists. So, living in Australia, we used to surf and golf in Coolangatta.
Wait.
Hang on.
How did we get Australia in here? I got Banff, I got Florida, I got Mexico.
We missed a chapter,
Italians,
huh?
and now we got Australia.
There's a couple of chapters in there.
How old are you?
Well, my son told me that Yoda died at 900, so that's my goal, is to make it 900 years.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like such a loser right now. Jesus.
But in Australia, I had actually given up golf, and I was just surfing almost full time and painting, selling art on the streets. So and the boys were playing golf, and I was like, well, maybe I'll play like one day with you guys, and I'm just going to continue to surf and paint. And but in the meantime, like Alex does graffiti artist. Jeff was also a painter, but they were more focused on like really enjoying the Australian life. But from that, we were able to, as a three, we just focused on like really cool ways to, if Moose, you came to us and said, hey, I want to get a cover that represents what I love. Well, we would question you and grill you and try to find something, whether it was a colorway or a unique thing about, maybe it was a family member or whatever it was, that, one of our things was when you get to the first tee box, whoever has the best story wins. And that was kind of our theory. So if you have a really nice set of head covers, you're going to be able to break the ice right out of the first tee box and set the tone. So from that was how we kind of viewed all our personal head covers, was trying to figure out what was the best way to express somebody's inner emotion as opposed to being a Titleist loyalist or a Callaway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love both those brands, but I don't need them splashed all over my bag. I'd rather have my own self, because it's kind of like your car. You know, you put your own stickers on there, you're going to customize little things. So
Right.
that was kind of how it all came together. But now we've got 7 full-time designers on staff.
Wow.
I barely even get into a design meeting. Jeff still is very involved in the design stuff. Alex is still heavily, he does a lot more of the photography now. So he transitioned into making sure that the website and our catalogs and everything like that look sharp and crisp. And we've invested a lot into, we built a studio. We've got all these different ways of taking pictures of head covers that I don't know whether anybody else cares that much about something
Right.
that's
Standing up. Yeah, make sure you check it out. Go to dormieworkshop.com. Just check out the way that they, showcase their products. I mean, last year you guys made an incredible long drive champion head cover for us that was the biggest hit. And I love the way that the packaging comes, right? It looks like you're getting a sirloin delivered when you get the head cover. Just like the little things that you guys do and think of just separates it from everything else. So I mean, you could see the thought that goes into it with you guys, and the fact that you're artists and you care about all the little elements of it. So it shows through, man, for sure.
Thank you. Like Jeff has gone. I went once, but we went to there's a leather show in Milan, Italy. And, these are the lengths that we'll go to. And we walk the floor for 3 days and just trying to find the coolest zipper, the best snap, all the little embellishments, right? I mean, let alone the leather. Yeah.
Right.
We went there for the leather, obviously. And we have 150 just in stock in our warehouse, but we also have ways to order custom dye lots and all these unique leathers that we found over in Italy, because those guys are the masters. They may not know how to golf that well or a lot, but they certainly have mastered leather and the artistry of that craft. And so you just go right to the source, and Jeff's been there 3 times. So he's really got a good hold on how to source the best leathers and all the embellishments.
How does it, because the custom side is so cool too. I have a couple of people that I referred to you guys that got for their outings or for events where they got custom covers, but the stuff that you guys make is so cool to begin with. So it's like, you don't really need to, but there's so much out there. But how much of your business is what you guys are producing compared to other people's concepts that you're making for them?
Yeah. So the custom side, I mean, that's what really separated us from our competitors, because there's really 2 ways you can look at the head cover world. It's a very low barrier to entry. You can be a mom and pop shop and only do custom stuff, one-ofs all the time. And there's lots of talented people out there that do that. But then there's another aspect, which would be just doing full wholesale, where you're only working with OEMs or pro shops, and they won't do one-offs. But what we're doing is we're doing both. And that's, we've been able to transpose that unique artistry of finding out what a golf course wants and treating them like it's a person. So we'll just keep asking the pro, like, is there a bridge? Is there a bar? Is there a unique tree? What is it that the culture of your course really, like, what's going to resonate with your members, instead of just cranking a logo on there. Now it's orange this year, and next year it's a blue cover and it's got a logo on it, and that's it. And it's like, well, we don't want to have it so that when you go to the next course and you drive, oh, look, it's an orange cover with a logo. And so that was kind of like, okay, how do we do it so that if they play both courses, they're going to have to buy each cover each time, because it's so cool and unique. And so I guess our split right now, we were originally like more custom, and we were trying to get pro shops on board. Then the pro shops started to order more, and then we needed to hire more. And now it's like, man, we might be doing 5% custom, and then the rest is 95 wholesale.
Wow.
And partners like corporate, whether it's Porsche or whether it's, you name it. Like, we're working with so many great companies now that it's I wake up in the morning, I am excited to come in to see who the heck is knocking on the door, because pretty cool that way.
That is cool. What is like a minimum order for a custom order, like of head covers?
For wholesale or for, like, say, yourself, Harry?
Like let's just say you have a golf outing, every year, or a group of guys are always taking a trip, and they want each year they want to, 20, 30 guys get together. They want to have a commemorative head cover.
Yeah. So, we always say we'll scale it so that, let's say there's 4 guys going, we will give you at least a discount because you got 4. But our MOQs typically start at 24. And sometimes because we use 8 heads on our embroider machine, I think it may have moved down to 16. So I actually have to double check on that because I'm actually not in this. Like, I used to be the only sales guy at one point.
Right.
Now it's like we've got 4 internal guys, 2 custom guys. These are all in at HQ here in Halifax, and then we've got a team of reps out in the field. So it's really developed into, like, our company in Halifax is 70 employees working out of it.
Wow.
So it is like our dad, he comes to all the shows, and he just continually is like, I can't believe you guys. Like, it's not that he calls us bullshitters, because he wouldn't use that word, but he's just like, I don't know how you guys pulled this off.
Yeah. Well, how long were you into it? I know you've been around 10 years as Dormie Workshop. What was the year where it really kind of exploded, or was there a year when that happened?
It was kind of a slow boom, and but there are definitely, like, I went to university and have an English degree, so I was the guy that always wrote all the copy. And Jeff was like, man, that there's a thing that says that we should be chronicling all these key moments. And so I started doing that, and it's kind of like a diary, probably just in simple terms. And looking back, it was a real combination of things, of meeting, I remember Jeff and I were surfing, and Jeff's phone went off, and the guy's like, hey, it's Chris Pronger, just looking for some covers. And we're standing there in wetsuits, freezing, because it was like November. And Jeff's looking at me, he's like, it's Chris Pronger on the phone. I'm like, nah, man, that's,
oh my God,
some Frank guy, right? But like little things like that, well, then that led to more NHL guys.
Right.
And so there was, it's not an overnight success. It's a 24-hour grind, and you just wake up the next day and you see what happened and build from there. But yeah, there were some really big moments of, like, Grant Fuhrer is another guy that we've become really good friends with, and
Sure.
he's come to our tournaments. We support his, and he's one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. Yeah. Amazing player, and huge heart. Those type of, like, influential celebrities that have legitimized themselves professionally, but also as a human. That's kind of where we're at. We really, I would say, looking back, it's more of the relationships that we've established and the relationships that we have with our customers. So our pros that we see every quarter at a trade show, or maybe it's only once a year we see them at the Orlando show, but we make sure that we try to get and talk to as many people and keep those relationships strong, because, I mean, without those, we wouldn't be anywhere.
No doubt. Well, listen, we appreciate your support. This is the second year in a row you're supporting our golf outing. We have the pinch hit fairway and the switch hitter and some other accessories that are going to be part of, I don't know what the prize is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be Wes Patterson's long drive hole in some form or fashion. It's got to be. But we posted that, and I got so many responses like, I got to win that thing. What do I got to do? I got to win that set. So we appreciate your support as always.
Oh, that's awesome. We love Wes. He's an awesome dude. I played a fair amount of golf with him. I still can't believe he hits it that far.
Yeah.
It's inhumanly far.
That's what I want to know. Like, when did the connection start with Wes? How'd you get hooked up with him?
That was, Jeff had met Wes through a guy that we know that's known as the King of Miami. And, another character who just is like a connector. And he was one of the producers of the show. Man, I'm blanking on it. It's like Entourage. It's Ballers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the show Ballers. So Joey Curtel, we became really good friends with him, and he's come to trade shows. He's stayed at our Airbnb. Joey was my roommate when we were staying in Orlando. We rented an Airbnb in the Disney area, and I don't know if you ever rented one, but you go in, it's just Mickey Mouse everywhere. And it was like 2 single beds. I'm looking over at Joey, and there's Goofy on the wall, and Donald Duck on this side. And we're just like killing ourselves, like because we're still kind of on a budget too, right? We're not going to just go out, and we're not ballers. We're working towards that,
Right.
but we're still in that Disney Airbnb phase.
Right.
But so we ended up meeting Wes through Joey.
Okay. The Rock was involved with Ballers.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, it was his show. Yeah.
Joey's probably got the best, if you say, who's your best number on there, he would have like alphabetical. Better.
Oh, wow.
Wes is hiding him from us, Harry.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to open up the Philadelphia door there. You gotta be careful because you can't shut it at some point.
Well, you guys are the king of Philly, aren't you?
To some
people.
Yeah.
To some people.
In our own minds.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. It was awesome to hear your story. I mean, I knew a little bit about it, but to hear, we talk about a golf journey, Harry. I mean, this is a golf journey to get there, but it's all about hard work and dedication. It's so cool to hear from, how it started with your family for the love of golf and got you to this place. And we're thrilled to be associated with you guys in any way and are here to support any way we can. And thank you again for supporting our outing this year.
Oh, we're happy to do it. And we really appreciate the chance to come on and share the story because we're still trying to get it out there.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate it.
Check them out, dormieworkshop.com. Check out Dormie Workshop on social media, and we'll be posting some more about the pretty cool prize that someone's going to get a chance to win at our outing. And we'll connect with you guys again soon, man. Continued success.
Have a great tournament.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Todd.
it.
Thanks,
Todd.
Okay,
all right, let's take a quick break, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back to Swing It and Ding It. Harry.
Wow.
Curveballs got
I'm
thrown
speechless right now, Moose. I'm telling you. I mean, you just never
went around
know.
the world.
Yeah, I mean, we ask about the journey. That's a real journey. I mean, you talk about all the different time zones that Todd and Jeff have been a part of. I mean, when he threw in the Australia, I'm like, well, wait a second. And then he goes from being like a ski instructor, so he's a great skier, to a great golfer who was playing professional events, to a great surfer. Think about that. And now an artist and an entrepreneur. I mean, wow.
And it's funny too, because every place he talked about, there was the connection to golf.
Right.
It was he was a ski instructor, but he was also working at the golf course. Right.
He
was
Banff.
working on a cruise ship, but he was working as everything about it just connect back to the game of golf. So
very cool.
I mean, when you see a product like this and a line like this, and you know that there's passion behind it, and it's all about the game of golf, it makes you just gravitate towards it even more.
You want to be a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, their stuff is just, there's nothing like it. I mean, we all see the different stuff and there's a lot of people making some great stuff right now, but when you look at what they do and the detail they put behind it, it's tremendous. And I can't wait to hand that prize to somebody at our sold out golf outing, Harry.
That's right. Now sold out. Now, who was the last person under the wire?
I hate to do it to him, Harry, but Andrew Factor.
Is that right?
Fact money. And listen, he was in from the start.
Okay.
He just, it's like, yeah, I'll get to it. I'm like, I had to text a couple guys. I'm like, guys, I got to shut this down, man.
Right.
You got to get in. And I know I'm going to get the text like, oh man, I can't. How many times do we say like, you got to get in?
Right. How many groups do we have now? How many players?
Well, I think I'm trying to keep it exactly like last year, which is still a lot at 116 golfers.
Okay. That is a lot.
That's a lot. But that's what we had last year. And the Legacy Club got us done in, a little over 4 hours, I slow it down because of all the craziness we have on the course and contests and games and pyrotechnics,
drink stands and
stunt coordinators and everything else that we have out there. But, we'll try to keep it moving, but,
awesome.
Yeah. And you saw the belt, you saw the wrestling championship belt for the long drive this year. Went a little bit of a different direction. Guy, that got some response yesterday.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool.
Actually, I called out Russ Hartung because he hadn't signed up yet.
Right.
Because like Danielle's not going to make it.
Is he in?
Oh, he's in now. He was actually, he's actually the last.
Okay. So he did get in. All right.
He did get in.
All right.
Yeah.
Got to go out and shake trees, man.
Yeah. Yeah. We want the guys that want to be there. We know they're in to be there, but
Very cool.
Harry, let's stay up in Canada real quick because it was a pretty interesting event, a pretty emotional ending. We talk about, Todd and his dad and how that started, but Robert MacIntyre gets his first PGA Tour win with his dad on the bag. Dougie, the greenskeeper, Harry.
Yeah, how cool was that?
He is an interesting person to watch.
Yeah, he is.
His facial expressions, just everything about him just seems that accent, the Scottish accent, is the hardest to understand, but the coolest to listen to.
Yeah, it is terrific. It was pretty cool. I mean, his first win on the PGA Tour. He had that close call against Rory last year in the Scottish Open when Rory had to hit that
that's right
4-iron or 2-iron. I forget what it was, and he stuck one real close and ended up winning it. But he's a Ryder Cup guy. I mean, he's a very accomplished player, but just hadn't been able to. He wasn't comfortable, on the PGA Tour, and that was something that came out of this. That he was very homesick. One of the reasons why, I guess, he brought his dad on, to carry the bag, and actually is skipping this week's tournament. He was automatically now, exempt into the Memorial, when prior to the win he wasn't, and he's skipping it to go back home to Scotland and celebrate the win with his people, and that just goes to show he's passing up almost a guaranteed paycheck. There's a cut at this event, but there's not going to be many guys that will miss the cut. They cut it down to 50 in ties, and there's only like 74 players to begin with. So chances are he was going to make another check. And he said, no, I miss home and I'm going back. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And
doesn't seem to be into it for the money, this guy.
No, this doesn't seem like a guy who's going to live.
Right.
Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's here for the love of the game and to win tournaments and compete. And it was pretty cool. And his father is sort of like he's not going to carry the bag going forward, but he's a little bit of a celebrity, and he's just a greenskeeper. He's a grass cutter. I mean,
Can you imagine that now in Scotland? Like he's a legend, right?
Yeah, a total legend. That's it. I mean, he's never going to have to buy a pint for the rest of his life.
No.
Or a wee dram of scotch. Yeah.
Like that Sunday, he has the lead, but there were guys that were firing, and you didn't know.
Ben Griffin.
Ben Griffin, Perez, even Rory for a little bit, and you're like, man, all he has to do is just hold these guys off. He doesn't have to, birdie, like just par some of these holes.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he did. But to the point, Ben Griffin's out on the range because he got within one at that point, and you think, well, maybe if he bogeys here, there's a chance. But that's got to be a weird feeling, right? Would you rather be like in the chase, one down, or would you rather be one up with someone chasing you on a finishing day?
I think I'd be very uncomfortable with the one-up lead. I would rather be like needing to make a birdie or something to try to catch a guy.
I agree. I'm too worried about making a bogey than I am of trying. Like I'm excited about I could try to make a birdie or a par even, but like the thought of like, man, if I can't
screw
up, that's golf, right? Golf
right.
is like, don't hit it in the water.
Mistakes.
Don't hit it into the trees.
Right.
Not like, let me fire this. So I always wondered that too. I'd like to ask some of the guys we talked to if how they would feel about it. Some guys would probably prefer the lead and they feel like they can protect it, but man, I would be uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I mean, the idea of having done everything you could that day, and you finished a couple under par and you made a run and you're on the range, staying loose in case you're in a playoff. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. The Canadians showed up. Corey Connors comes in 6th. Mackenzie Hughes, T7. Those guys right there. How about they in his final round, the hockey rink holes, they sang "Oh Canada" before he teed off. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, the 13th hole there. They've been doing that now for 6 straight years, and that's a cool element to that tournament. I mean, they don't necessarily get the best fields because it's not an elevated event, a signature event right now, and it's kind of sandwiched in between other big events. But when Rory shows up, that gives it some elevation, but it seems like a really cool thing. They really love it, and their season is limited, due to weather and so forth. But man, when they get out there and play golf, the Canadians love their golf.
Yeah. And RBC spends a lot of money in the game. Oh, yeah. So a lot of those guys play. It's good to see Tom Kim, getting back to form. He gets a T4 with Rory, who he played with him
twice.
Yeah. They seem to have a lot of fun playing together, but it's so strange, right, Harry? It's like these guys just pop up and then they fall back and they pop up. That's why when you see a guy like Scotty Scheffler that just is at the top all the time, it stands out to you just because of how hard it is.
Right. And, we hadn't seen that since Tiger Woods.
Right.
Now I'm wondering, did Tom Kim get to hug Amanda Balionis afterwards, or was that just reserved for Rory McIlroy?
Yeah, I didn't see. I saw the interview, but I didn't see any exchange of emotion or. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyone else stand out to you from the Canadian Open?
Yeah, Shane Lowry, who was my one and done pick, stood out because he stunk.
Hate to do it to you, Shane.
I'm just telling you, man. I mean, he finished second there back in 2019 on that very same golf course to his buddy Rory. And, he and Rory won a few weeks ago in New Orleans, basically on Rory's back. And it was really evident last weekend because Rory played really well and had a chance to make a run at, like you said. And Lowry, he made the cut on the number, which I believe was even, and did nothing on the weekend. So typical.
Yeah. Lancaster.
Yes,
Harry. I mean, it was the Charlie Hall show.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Charlie Hall burning heaters, signing autographs. It took over the week, before the tournament even started. And then there was some other video of her. I mean, she's, everybody wants her on video anyway, for obvious reasons, but she played really well too.
Yes.
I mean, I think did she have a top 20? Because I know she was playing really well and made the weekend. And I think she made up a top 20. But yeah, the whole thing though, like Lancaster Country Club is so great. You and I are going to get out there this year with our friend Ken Phillips from the Gap, and I have another foursome there that I won in an auction that I gotta use up too. So we're going to get out there. I've been there before. It's tremendous, but I don't want it to be known as the golf course that broke Nelly Korda. You know what I mean? Because the 12th hole, her third hole of the day, and her tournament's over. Done. She made it 10, as everybody knows, and put it in the water 3 times on that hole. And from then on, played half decent golf. I mean, she, okay, not good enough to make the cut. All she needed to do was go one more birdie to make the cut on the number at +9. She ends up +10 and misses the weekend, which I really thought, okay, she didn't play well enough. Why is the USGA put that pin position on one of the first 2 days? Like it was on the first day. Like, save the carnage for the weekend. Let some of these bigger players, like there was a bunch that missed the cut. I mean, like I got a list of them here. Nelly, Grant, McGuire, Rose Zhang, Corpuz, Cupcho, Lydia Ko, Lexi. They all missed the cut.
Wow.
And a lot of it, I think, had to do with that pin position and that crazy hole. So I don't know. You're trying to grow the game. People, want to see these women on TV on the weekend. I thought they kind of did a disservice to their own event, which they tend to do typically. You want to have that pin position? Great. Do it on Sunday.
Especially it was the third hole they played.
Yeah, if you started on the back, it was your third hole. I mean, can you imagine? Like you and I know that feeling. Our third hole, and we put up a huge number, and I'm like, oh, here, I'm not breaking 80 today.
Guess I'm drinking.
Exactly.
How about our friend Josh Saunders, who we played a nice round of golf with Colin Berger that day out at the 1912 Club, director of grounds at Lancaster Country Club.
Terrific workout.
Honored by the was it the USGA, I guess, was the honoring.
Tremendous job. I can't imagine what those guys go through in the months leading up to an event.
Years,
like that,
right? Yeah.
Years.
I mean, we talked to the guys from Wilmington Country Club. It was like as soon as you find out, it changes your whole. That's it. That's all you're thinking about working on.
Right.
All eyes are on you, and if something goes wrong, then one little thing and you look like crap. Right? You could have 99% of it right. So
right. Yeah, but a tremendous job. I mean, the golf course showed spectacularly, as we figured it would, and brutal test. I mean, Yuka Sasso played some amazing golf. I mean, she hits it a mile. She's hitting it 280, 290. Has patterned her game after Rory McIlroy, and this is her second U.S. Open. The first time representing Japan. The first time she represented the Philippines. when she won a few years ago. But man, she wins by 3 shots, 4 under par. Only 2 players were under par at the end of this thing. And the other was another Japanese player, Hinaka Shibuno. And I thought that was pretty cool, where she's in the fairway back on the 18th hole, and she sees Sasso, making this great chip shot and put it right up for a tap in, to secure the win. And she, you become the country person then. It's like, here's my
Right.
fellow Japanese competitor is going to win another one. And I thought that was pretty cool. But I watched Andrea Lee, the young American girl, the phenom. She had a rough day on Sunday, but she had a tremendous week. That young Wuchani Michai. Both of them had tough Sundays, but they had tremendous weeks. And man, I couldn't believe Minji Lee blew up. She +8 on Sunday. I'm thinking she's going to lock down. Would have been her 3rd major and her 2nd U.S. Open, and it was not to be. So
tough test.
Yes, I had one bet right though. Anaka Fudaway had a T6. I had her top 10. She went 2 under on Sunday to finish at +2 for the week. So there was one I nailed.
There you go.
So
there you go. All right, let's talk about the golf game here. How are things going with the takeaway? Are you finishing? Are you completing your swing, heading to the left side? Talk to me.
I'm not having as many times where I just absolutely know that I didn't get through it. It's getting better. I had an interesting weekend. Took a guest out. This gentleman, Nick Cale. I had him over at the
great Nick Cale.
Club. Yes. Mm-hmm. And we were out there. It was very crowded over the weekend at the 1912 Club. But the first 4 holes, which are usually my death sentence, usually I get to the 5th tee and I'm already like, well, I'm not breaking 80 today, because the first
number 4
holes,
there tortures me. And I don't know why.
Yeah. And number 2, the out of bounds is constantly lurking.
Yep.
But I got through without any implosion, without any big number, and made a brilliant par on the 4th hole. That one you talk about, the long par 3, pushed the drive right into the right rough and made an unbelievable pitch that ends up 15 feet. And I run the putt in for a 3.
Hey, now
Cale hits his tee shot on 4 to the front left corner of the green. The pin is back right. He makes at least a 50-footer for birdie. So he makes a birdie. I make a par and lose the hole. Okay. But we both played really well over the first 4 holes, and we hit a wall because that's where we got stopped. We were only a twosome, and twosomes sometimes you run into, because you're playing faster than a foursome. But it was a single that was stuck in between us and a foursome who was taking their good old time. So we hit a wall on the 5th tee. We asked the gentleman, you want to blink up? He says, yeah, I'm only going to play 9 anyway. So we're like, all right, cool. You want to talk about an energy change that was absolutely negative. Nick and I both coming off the 4th hole and the start that we had, I'm thinking today might be the day. We hit a wall. The energy changed. We didn't look like we knew how to play golf for the next 3 holes. This guy leaves us. He quit. He was having such a bad time, like hitting it 30 yards. It was bad. He was, but we look bad. And he finally leaves. I make a par. And I'm like, something was weird about it. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is awful. It's like the energy just changes.
It could throw everything off.
Yes.
It really can. You're used to the guys you play with.
And the pace and the rhythm that you're playing. And all of a sudden, that all changes. No good deed goes unpunished. That was on full display. So we ended up quitting after 9 holes and just went to the bar.
I love it.
Yeah.
I got some big stuff coming up. I have the Legacy Club 1-day member guest this week.
Right. Green Valley coming up.
Next week is Green Valley member guest, which is a big one. I'm going back out to White Manor in a couple weeks, which that course took my soul from me the last time I played it.
I've never played there.
It's a task.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you can't see where you're hitting it to.
Okay, blind shots.
You're just guessing a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of uphill, downhill. But hey, I like the torture, right? We all do. That's why we play the game of golf.
We embrace the torture.
Yeah,
and the punishment.
Yeah. Played Bala again last week.
How'd that go?
Great. I mean, we've been playing it like early morning before work. Get out there first thing and quick shower because my office is a minute from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in great shape.
How was the iron game?
It's improving.
Okay.
But you know how it is. It's like I played Memorial Day, and I was driving the crap out of the ball, like kind of how I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time I played, I couldn't hit my driver. So it's like, I don't know. I just
you're getting used to the PXG irons, though, right?
I kind of pulled them back out of the bag for a time.
You put them in timeout.
Yeah, they're in timeout.
Oh, okay.
It can't be me. It's got to be.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll go back to them eventually. But
right. It's like my buddy does that with his putter all the time. He's like, I put that in the garage. It's cold out there. Like he puts it in the garage where it's cold.
Yeah, you have to do it. You have to just have a feel for it. Well, it's funny. Legacy Club, the rough was so thick for a while, and I was not hitting fairways. And the PXG clubs are just a little bit like heavier and wider. And I just I was having a tough time kind of like getting them through that rough. So we'll see. We'll go back. We'll go back to them at some point. We'll go back to them. So we talked a little bit about inside golf, but yeah, tell me more. How was you had a lot of big hitters out there?
Yeah, we did. Harry was in full form, man. I'm telling you, he's just like he's like a comedian, and just breaking everybody's balls. It was unbelievable. I was laughing. Me and Brownie weren't on the first setup, so we're there watching, and we were just busting out laughing at Harry, just giving everybody the business. So it was great. And I'll tell you, between Brownie and Ryan Gano, they know everybody in the game of golf. You talk about 6 degrees of separation from, they know everybody, and they've played everywhere.
Yep.
It's like they've experienced everything. It's incredible.
And that's the kind of expertise you get with those guys. And that's what we mean. Like, talk about golf people that know, like, this isn't some website that you're booking rounds at. These people, these guys play these courses. They know who works at them. They know where to go. There are official golf travel partners. There's a link in our Instagram bio to unlock the golf experiences you've always dreamed of. The team of All Access has decades of experience crafting unforgettably tailored golf adventures, from casual outings to luxurious getaways. Elevate your golf experience with All Access GTE. Go check those guys out.
And Marty Emino from the Gap was out there. Good to see him again. So Joe Logan from My Philly Golf, and Joe Giuliano, who spent so many years at the Inquirer covering like college football, college basketball, and golf. He was a tremendous sports writer for many years. He's since retired and is now moving. He and his wife are moving to Madison, Wisconsin to relocate and going up to experience that Wisconsin golf. So he's moving soon. So this, I think, was his last time. He was one of the original guests on the Teed Off panel for Inside Golf. So Joe Giuliano. So I hope he enjoys retirement. Great guy.
No doubt about it. How about who's hotter than Harry Higgs right now?
I know. Well, what's on with his face? Did he have some sort of Mohs surgery or something?
I saw a huge
bandage on his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's won 2 tournaments a row, and then goes and qualifies for the U.S. Open and gets in a playoff and advances. So he's going to be in the U.S. Open next week. Yeah, he's playing great.
He is playing really good golf. It's a fight with skin cancer that he's dealing with. They had to remove something from it.
I thought so. Yeah.
I mean, it's scary. A lot of these guys are out there.
Yeah.
24/7, and they're in
I worry about
all day long. Right. It's scary.
That's why people make fun of me when I wear my big hat, the big, brimmed hat. I'm like, hey, I'm 5 degrees cooler than you are right now, number one, and I'm probably not going to get sunburn. Think about that.
Who'd you do one and done? I went with Hovland.
This week?
Yeah.
This week I'm probably going with Max Homa.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Looking forward to this week. I love the Memorial.
Memorial. Yeah. Jack's Place. Signature event. 73 player field. You talked about it. 50 plus ties, plus within the top 10 or something. So like you said, most of the guys are going to make it through.
Yeah.
All eligible in the top 50 are playing in this, Harry. Obviously, Scheffler, PGA champ, Xander Schauffele, last year's winner, Victor Hovland, who won at 7 under, right? So this is a test.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah.
How about last year? Only one guy broke 70 on Sunday, and that was Scheffler, who moved up to a T3 because of it.
Yeah, this is not a birdie fest. No. Jack will not have that. But yeah, terrific. And I'm looking forward to seeing Jackson Koiven the Auburn freshman. I was watching him they won the national championship. Shout out to John Rusk and Jason Duffner and those Auburn Tigers. War Eagle winning the men's championship. I watched this kid. He is unbelievable. You talk about a talent. He's not a big guy either, but what a golf swing. And he's going to tee it up this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play at this level.
No doubt. Well, let's talk about
9 of the 10 in the official world golf rankings. Everybody in there, but John Rahm, who's now fallen down to number 7, I believe, in the official world golf rankings. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Muirfield Village. Let's talk about the course, of course, with Harry Mays, if you will.
Yeah, Muirfield, 1974, a Jack Nicklaus design, of course, named after Muirfield, which is the place where he won his first Open championship, his first of 3, I believe. It's almost up to 7,600 yards now. They keep lengthening it. Par 72, 4 par 5s, 5, 7, 11, and 15. And 15 is just terrific. The closing holes at this place are amazing and make for great drama. They're really hard. In fact, I saw on the scorecard, the first 3 handicaps, they got a weird handicapping system out there that the top 3 handicapped holes are the final 3 holes on the golf course. So you talk about a great finish. 4 par 3s, 4, 8, 12, and 16, 71 bunkers, and water is in play on 11 of the 18 holes. I'll start off at 12, which is a beautiful par 3, 180 yards with an elevated tee over water to a shallow 2-tiered green. There's bunkers in front and back, and you'll notice it's similarities to the 12th at Augusta. It's an homage to one of the iconic par 3 in the world, the 12th hole at Augusta. 13th hole, you start coming back the other way. Par 4, 455 in yards, dogleg left, narrow landing area for these guys. Jack does that. He's going to pinch in on the fairways where he knows he keeps changing the golf course for the changing of the game. These guys hit it farther. Well, all right, I'm going to tighten up the fairway at 320 now. So he's going to make it really, really tough. Green slightly offset left with large bunkers left and right. We know Jack likes to offset those greens from the fairway to make them narrower and shallower, to make it look like, man, I got to land this thing in a picnic basket or it's going to go off the green. The 14th hole, a brilliant par 4. It's a shorty, 360 yards, but don't you dare try to drive it because there's water all up the right side of the green. It bisects the fairway around 290 yards out and extends up the entire length of a narrow green, bunkers guarding the opposite side. Then they start coming back. They change direction again. The 15th hole is the final par 5, 561 yards. He's tightened up this fairway, changed. He lowered it like 20 yards down. 4 bunkers guard the right side of the landing area, and a creek. It brings the creek into play all the way up the left side and eventually cuts in front of the green complex and guards the right side of the green. 2 bunkers, along with 2 bunkers, lots of eagles and birdies, but also you're going to see 6s and 7s at that hole too. So it's a great hole. The 16th hole, they change direction again, start coming back towards the clubhouse. This is a par 3, 220 yards, a really tough one. Water in play off the tee. 3 bunkers surround the green. The angle of the green serves as a really shallow target. Then the 17th hole is a long par 4, 503 yards. Really tough, very tough, narrow landing area off the tee. Tons of bunkers in the fairway. And then there's a creek that runs the entire distance across the front, just in front of the green, slightly raised green with a bunch of bunkers. The 18th hole is one of the most iconic holes that the PGA Tour visits each and every year. Par 4, 484 yards, the toughest hole in the course, a slight dogleg right, with the creek all down the left of the fairway. And right at the dogleg, there's 3 bunkers and a huge tree that protect that side of the green, or that side of the fairway. Then the raised green, bunkers all around it. You got that amphitheater area there where Jack's going to be up there with Barbara waiting to congratulate the winner and drinking milkshakes. This is a great freaking tournament. I love the memorial.
It is. It's tremendous. It really is. And if you're going to be watching any of this week's tournament, here's a better pro tip than you'll get from any caddy. Check out Draftkings Sportsbook, an official betting operator of the PGA Tour, and get in on all the action. From the first tee shot through the final putt, Draftkings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. New to DraftKings? Listen up. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500. Just deposit at least $5 and you'll get a bonus bet back equal to your first bet if it doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DING. That's code DING, D-I-N-G, for new customers to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. How about 14 of 15 had a T5 or better within the year, this calendar year, this golf season, and 8 of 9 made the cut in the previous start. I know it's a little bit skewed because like most guys make the cut, but you had Victor Hovland in a playoff over Denny McCarthy, if you recall. Horschel, and then you had Cantlay, Rahm, Cantlay. So Cantlay's won this thing twice. Does he get his game back a little bit on a place he's familiar with? We'll see. What are you thinking?
Well, yeah, and one of those Cantlay wins was when John Rahm, who had a big lead, had to go home after the third round because of a COVID test. Remember that one?
That's right.
It kind of handed Cantlay one. I think Rahm would have had actually won that one, but Cantlay loves this place, and he's kind of in a little bit of a funk right now. And I think this is just the venue to bring him out of it before a major championship. I actually like Cantlay this week in a top 10 at plus 225. Denny McCarthy, you mentioned him in the playoff. He's got 2 straight top 5s at this venue. Plus 180 for a top 20, and he's plus 7,000 to win. I mean, at some point, you think a guy that can putt that well is going to break through and get a win. This would be a nice, juicy payday if you like Denny McCarthy. He's on my fantasy team, I'll tell you that. So's this guy, Lee Hodges. He's only 6,500 on DraftKings. I got him in a top 20 at plus 330. He was 12th here in 2023. He was 12th at the Schwab just a couple of weeks ago and 12th at the PGA. So he's playing some really good golf. And I think that price, at that price on DraftKings, you got to put him in a lineup. Siwoo Kim, too, was 4th here last year. 4 straight top 20s at this event. He's plus 140 for a top 20. I talked about Max Homa. He's my one and done. He was 5th here in 2022, 6th here in 2021. He's also plus 330 in a top 10. I think he's trending too. Harris English, I'm going to take in a matchup at minus 110 over your guy, Bezadenhout. And that's all I got.
All right. Yeah.
That's enough.
I like Cantlay. I can see him winning this with that number. I keep looking at Spieth, who had a T5 here in 23. Is that another guy that gets, back on track with this? I like Siwoo for the win at 5,000. Talked about Hovland, who I'm taking in the one and done. Also JT, I could see him getting a top 5 at that 550 number. Another guy that can play well here. And then a couple matchups. Cantlay minus 110 over Aubert, and Siwoo, I'm sticking with him minus 120 over Finau. If I like him to win, I'll take that as a one-on-one matchup.
Absolutely.
You have Scheffler at 360, Xander at 900, Rory at 900, Morikawa at 1,400, who's getting a lot of looks here from people, and then Hovland at 1,600. So this is going to be a great one, Harry.
Yeah, this is going to be great. And you mentioned, we have the DraftKings contest. I think it's almost full. There was only 5 slots left after I signed up. I got Cantlay, Hodges, McCarthy, Homa, Spieth, and JT.
Wow. Damn.
I mean, if that doesn't place, I give up.
You fit that in the budget. That's pretty strong.
I did.
Very strong.
I got $0 left.
That's it. That's the way he's got to be. Love to see it.
Yeah. There's a live event this week. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
They're in Houston, getting revved up for their guys that are going to make the U.S. Open. Rahm is the favorite. Get this number, plus 700. Neiman, plus 800. And Bryson, plus 800.
Yeah, don't take any of the Majestics, Harry. Apparently, all their clubs are still in Heathrow.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Tyrrell Hatton, he doesn't have
him
clubs.
Too, right? All the guys that came over, right? So take a look at that because no one has their golf clubs. Maybe they're with Delta getting thrown in the middle of the tarmac.
Like East Tennessee State University's golf team, those poor guys. Cam Smith plus 1,600, along with Brooks Koepka at the same number. I'm going to take Dean Burmester at minus 110 in a matchup over Abe Answer. That's the only play I'm going to make on Live. But I'm interested to watch it because we have the U.S. Open next week. And some of those guys like Cam Smith, Brooks, you got to see what kind of form they're going to be in leading into Pinehurst.
I'm excited to see Pinehurst for the U.S. Open. I
really
am. Really am. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be right in the middle of the Green Valley member guests. So in between rounds, have that going on. Probably some tequila will be had during that event. So
wow.
Looking forward to it.
Have fun with that.
You getting out? When else you getting out this week?
Yeah, I got a foursome set up at the 1912 Club for Sunday at 10:10. And I'm going over there today. I want to work on the game, but they got the women's member. So the old lady's got her squad. She and Kendra, I've teamed up, and they got uniforms. Like they bought, these crazy wild print skirts, and I mean, they're going to look good. So hopefully the game matches the outfits, because they're ready to go. It's a 1-day member for the women at the 1912.
Good luck. So, good luck to the ladies. I hope you'll be over there rooting them on.
Krista and Kendra. That's
you're going to be on the bag or no?
No. I don't think they'd allow that anyway. No.
Awesome. Good stuff. And I want to get you out to Legacy Club before our outing, so you can get a little warm up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before the big event. But
let's do that.
Everyone else enjoy it. Looks like we'll have a good stretch here
of weather.
Thanks again to Todd Bishop for hopping on from Dormie.